What's going on, everybody? I'm Dan, and this is Midwest Angling, and we're doing something a little special this week. It's kind of like a weird take your audience to work day, I guess. We're all screwed up. I attempted to film a trip up in northern Wisconsin on Lake Superior, and it just did not go to plan, unfortunately. Flew my father out from Maine. We'd never fished the Great Lakes before, so we're like, let's start on Superior, why not? We ended up having to leave early because the weather was going to be bad, especially on the island we were on. We'll go through and we'll talk about it later in this video. We got some really cool footage. It was really pretty, but unfortunately we didn't have enough footage to get a video on its own. But now it's my vacation's over, it's back to reality. We're back in the big truck and we are going to go do something that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. For years, I've driven past this little pond that's in between the two sides of an interstate, and I've always wondered if there's fish in it. There's a truck parking area less than a mile from it, on the same side, on the direction that we're headed. We are going down there right now. It's gonna take us a few hours, it's about lunchtime, but we'll get in there early evening and we are gonna see if there's any fish in that pond. I've also brought my hammock. I've never camped in a hammock before, so we're gonna give that a try and we're gonna do a little stealth camp. If there's no fish, you know, so be it. We'll still have fun. So without further ado, sit back, enjoy the ride, and just let me do the hard part. Well, for better or worse, we are off. Doesn't matter how light I pack, I still got way too much stuff. Now comes the real awkward part. We crossed this highway, and the problem with this is that I don't know if it's even legal for me to be down there. We're gonna try and scoot across without hopefully too many people noticing. And then hopefully once I'm in the tree line, I'm nice and camouflaged, so maybe they'll leave me alone. Did I unlock the door? Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's play a game of Frogger. Try to get across the road. My luck is a friggin' state trooper is gonna go driving by exactly when I go and make my mad dash. Try not to drop any in the road as we run across, right? All right, let's go. All right, we're in. There's gonna be so many ticks in here. I already got Lyme disease once. I really don't need it again. Only 2 tree motorists seen us make our way across. The pond is that way. So, I mean, this is truly uncharted territory, boys. Trying to keep an eye out for rattlesnakes. I don't know if they're here. I would assume they are. Definitely don't want to add that to the list of excitement for this week. And it's not like super thick, but I think once you're in here, like the people gotta be looking right at you to see you. I don't think you're gonna attract any attention just as they're driving by. I think it's gonna be a matter of if they happen to be looking directly at you, then maybe. I don't see anything that bears any resemblance to like a path. Maybe like a game trail. There's a lot of deer around here. Always see them. Except that guy could see me. This is pretty open. But it gets pretty thick right around the pond. Like you can only see the pond from the road, like right as you're driving by. I got my hip waders, so when I'm out in the water, they'll be able to see me. But the hammock needs to be set up in a place where nobody's gonna see it. You know, I don't think too many people will bat an eye if they just see a guy fishing a pond. But if they see what looks like a homeless encampment, I might wrinkle a couple noses. Don't believe anybody owns this, given how it's in the middle of an interstate. I think it's just purely state property. But there are no trespassing signs. I don't know how that works. I guess maybe we'll find out. There's a big ass deer track, so I would not be surprised if we jump one or two skippers going down in here. There's a lot of willy whackers and prickly bushes. Looks like all these trees were planted because they're all in a straight line, and they got this kind of like this felt that's running in strips. Whoever owns it is managing it, or did. Not seeing any litter, signs of human activity. Let's get down into this pond and see what we got to work with. We made it to a pond. I didn't realize it. This is like a little one. It's like a little drainage deal. Looks pretty stagnant. It's definitely smaller than the one that you can see from the highway. I think when you're going on that side, you can kind of see it a little bit. You can't see it at all on this side, which is where I'm parked on. I think I need to go this way around it. This is really thick in here with like these juniper trees. On that corner of this small pond, there's a lot of junipers over there too. I think that might be a good spot to set up. Venture further down, and it's getting pretty thick in here too. Let's watch our step and make our way through the forest. This is some sort of bone, like a leg bone. Pretty sure that's to a deer, so we'll go with that. I think it's a little small to be a people. Oh, there's another one. There's some vertebrae. There's a hole. Oh, there's a skull. Oh no, that's a tailbone. What am I thinking? No bones over there. I had to guess it was a deer. Got hit. Made its way down here. The Yode's got a hold of it. Oh, there's another one. And another one. Fascinating. This is pretty thick. I don't think we're gonna have any problems not being seen in here at least. We'll see what it looks like down by the bigger pond. Trouble is getting there with all the shit on my back. I suppose it'll be easier to leave because I can just walk to the road. Because what are they gonna do? Tell me to leave? I want to get over there before it gets too dark. I mean, we don't have to leave till like noon tomorrow. Yeah, I have plenty of time. It's just getting over here. It's gonna be a trick. Alright, so we made it to the actual pond. So now we're just trying to find a spot where we can hang a hammock. The trees aren't really conducive to that. Not close by the pond anyway. Like I can see the vehicles go by, but it's so thick that they're not going to be able to see my tarp. I think this is going to be the best bet. We're just going to have to clear some of this brush to make room for the tarp. So let's get to it. Well, how about that? Gotta say, right old encampment. It's supposed to rain tonight at some point, so that ought to keep me dry. I gotta tie a couple of drip loops on the hammock lines there, but we should stay dry with that. And I put the tarps at the lower end as towards the road, and that should give us some good cover when we use some lights as it gets dark and cook our supper and all that. We're not even gonna bother trying to fish tonight, so I'm just gonna finish getting my bedding in here, and maybe we'll get to cooking some supper. Alrighty, well, here we are. Already caught 2 ticks on me, but they seem to be wood ticks, so I guess if you're gonna have them, those are the ones you want. It's apart from the tire noise, it's actually really peaceful. But being a truck driver, you know, I'm used to sleeping in some pretty loud and obnoxious places, so that won't bother me none. Just coming through here, this isn't a spot where humans go, and you can tell that by how easily you as a man or a woman can move around places like this. I mean, I had to do some serious whacking to get a space clear enough to set this up. I think it's pretty confident that nobody's gonna come bumbling down here. If anybody comes and wakes me up in the night, it's because they spotted me. With that being said, I'm gonna attempt to cook. Now, I don't really have a table to cook on. I do have this little mound right here that I guess is better than nothing. What do we got on the menu tonight? Well, nothing fancy. We got ramen noodles with meatballs. So, you know, there's a little bit of class in there. But, you know, I just wanted to do something quick that wasn't going to take up a whole lot of space and wasn't going to really take too much time and effort to cook. So, let's get to cooking. Got us our good old ramen noodles. May or may not have left them in the truck, but we went and got them. It was quite the adventure. Didn't give away my position, but I was just a random guy. I walked back to the road. I was not fighting through them thick woods. There's a little like drainage that I'm right next to. So it's actually really easy to find my way back. Getting back in was pretty rough because I was right next to where the vehicles are going by, and of course it was pitch black, and I ran myself right into one. Like, I think it was the sharpest thorn bush I've ever come across. Like, it stuck in me, and I had to go backwards to get it out. It was bad, but we survived. We got our ramen noodles, and this water's coming to a boil pretty quick. Get these balls of meat in here. I don't think I've ever had boiled meatballs, so we're gonna find out today, boys. You know, it's, as usual, it's a show, but I think this is gonna be a pretty cool adventure. Big what if is, are there any fish in that there pond? And I'm kind of going either way, because there is algae in it, but that could be from the runoff from the road, you know. There's a lot of farmland around here too. This is like mat algae, like big blobs of it. So I don't know if that means that like there's no oxygen in here, or if it is just for runoff. There we go. Some good old ramen noodles in the pot. This little homeless encampment. I definitely need to work on the getting out here with just less stuff. We'll see how this works out. Like, I've not slept in this hammock yet. I don't know if this is going to be a good night's sleep or a miserable night's sleep. It's hard telling. They say hammocks are good if you're a back sleeper, but I'm not. This could be a long night. I haven't got in it yet, so I don't know if it's going to sag. But if this works out, I mean, it's set up fairly quickly. The advantage to having a hammock, especially if you're going to pitch a tarp anyway, you don't have to pack a sleeping pad, and you don't have to pack a tent. The tent and like the sleeping surface are the same thing. And generally speaking, a hammock, even with a bug mesh, takes up less space than either of those things. Ooh, looks like we're boiling. Let's get our in no way terrible for you sauce packet in there. That's where all the salt and the good stuff is. Get that cover back on there. It's not a bad way to end a vacation, I'd say. Of course, some people probably think I'm crazy for doing this. You gotta have a sense of adventure. All right, I'd say we're done. as a token of my appreciation for you joining me, this Dr. Pepper's for you. Let's see how we did. The beautiful thing about ramen noodles is they don't take very long to cook. You know what we say on this channel, everything tastes better in the woods. Well, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy my supper. We'll get back together as we put the fishing gear together. Ready to go fishing. I think I'm gonna clean these dishes up, give myself another check over for ticks, and then I think I'm gonna crawl into that hammock. We will see you bright and early, and then we'll find out if there's any fish in that there pond. All right, we are off. It's like 9 o'clock. I slept in pretty late. That's all right. It was really chilly this morning. Wasn't exactly super excited to get out of bed. Rather than go through the process of making breakfast, just wanted to sneak down here and see if there's even anything in this here pond. And if there ain't no fish, then we'll go make some breakfast. Might as well get to the point, right? Slept all right. It was there's a couple parts where I was just uncomfortable with that hammock. It's kind of hard to change positions, and the other thing was I just had too much get in there. Good thing to do security-wise is never leave anything out that you don't want somebody to come take, and never leave anything out that somebody could use against you as a weapon. I had a bunch of those types of things, so they went right into the hammock with me. Oh, let's see. So I don't know, I have no clue how deep this thing is. I brought my hip waders because there's like cattails all around it. So I don't even know if we can truly even get to it, if on the other side of the cattails it just drops right off or what. It's kind of really thick. I don't think there's gonna be a better way down there. All right, now to get into that water without killing myself. I don't think you're supposed to say that on YouTube. There's a otter. So if there's an otter, there's got to be some sort of food source in here. I'm seeing like little, look like rises out there. There might actually be fish in here. Got our hook baited. Let's go see what we got to work with. Come on. It's a bass. It's a bass. I'll be damned. Look at that. That's a largemouth bass in this little pond. It's not big, but there are largemouth bass in this little pond. Wow. I've got a new worm on there. It's See if we can get his bigger brother. Drop this, ooh, there's a decent jump up there. There's another one. It's a little fella bass. Fish took it really deep, and I'm trying to prevent that from happening. When you have live bait, it's going to kind of happen. The best thing that you can do is pinch the barbs down on your hooks when you're using live bait. You know, you really don't. I've been doing that for a long time now. The only way that you lose fish when you have barbless hooks is if you're asking for it. If you're doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing, giving them slack, you know, letting the hook come out of the water while the fish is still in the water. That's a real good way to lose a fish with a barbless hook. The key thing is that it makes unhooking deeply hooked fish a lot easier. It just slides right out. Got one. Gotta drag him through 1,000 miles of muck. Here's another largemouth. You know, they're not big, but unlike gear, they fight pretty good, you know? So we'll definitely take it. All right, so let's talk about Superior. So the whole plan for this week was my father flew in from Maine. We went and we fished Lake Superior. First time for both of us. He'd never even seen the lake. I've been around it, but I never actually fished it. And something I always wanted to do, so we went up there, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Amazing. If you've never had a chance to go to the Apostle Islands, I'd highly recommend it. And we got up there, we were kind of out of our element, but we got some advice from the bait shop guy, and we got some new stuff. And you know, that first day we didn't do much. We spent half of it just getting the gear ready. You know, when you work a job like driving truck, you don't have a whole lot of time to get things prepared, so there's only so much you can do. And we got out there and we did some trolling, and we didn't get any bites, and then it was time to come back. And second day we got out there, and we actually my father lost one trolling. And then we went and I got a bite. It had to be a lake trout because we were over 100 feet of water. I suppose it could have been a salmon. It definitely wasn't on the bottom. It was down. We were dragging dead smelt. And we were like, maybe we're starting to get onto something. So we started doing that. We ended up, we didn't get another bite again. And we fished hard. And then we took a little break. We went and on the island we were on Manitou Island. And there's an old set of fish camps that's on the south side of the island. I'm not sure what the history is there, but I haven't really had time to research it. But I will put a little excerpt right here. And so we got to explore those. Those were pretty cool. And then we fished our way back to the launch. And the whole time we knew that the next day was going to be bad weather. It was supposed to be the worst weather of the whole trip. And we did have a portable weather band radio, and you gotta have something like that if you're gonna be out far away from civilization, because we didn't have any signal way out into the lake like that, and some of the bigger islands that were closer to the mainland probably blocked a lot of that signal. So if you think you're gonna be out there and be able to get weather reports on your phone, you're gonna be surely mistaken. And so we were listening to weather band as I started to make supper that Sunday night, and they started calling for 6 to 8 foot waves on that storm. There was a small craft advisory, and you know, we were having trouble because the wind was going right into the beach where we were at. And we were having trouble getting the boat to stay situated on the beach. Like it kept trying to push it over to the side. You know, we're starting to think, what, do we gotta park this thing on the other side of the island? And what if the wind changes? We really got to thinking about it, and there was still a couple hours of daylight left, and we had to make a decision. And we had to make it fast. You know, do you sit there and try and ride it out and potentially risk wrecking the boat, or do you keep going? We decided right then and there to make use of our time, and instead of cooking supper, we packed everything up right there and left. I wish I could have made the video, you know, because I put a lot of time, effort, money, blood, sweat, and tears into trying to make that trip a reality. We're out here right now, and I'm able to kind of tell the story. But the most important thing is that, you know, when I was younger, my father, he had to work really hard. He had to work a lot. It was really good to be able to take that quality time and get out there and do some of the stuff that we really just didn't have the time to be able to do when I was younger. You know, we went on trips, but they were usually hunting trips, and you know, we had a couple bass tournament trips that we would do, and you know, I cherish those, but it was great to get out there and try to start some new traditions and make some new memories. And so here we are. We got this little excursion in, and we even caught a couple fish to boot. I have my alarm set for 11 o'clock. When that rolls around, we gotta go pack up camp and get rolling. See if we can get another largemouth on the bank. This is gonna be the last worm. Look at the size of that bluegill. Oh man, that's a hog. I don't know, maybe it's not for around here. Man, oh man, oh. How's that for a closer? All right, well, there he is. That's the chunk that we're gonna close on. So let's get him back and we'll go clean up the camp. All right, and we're out. All the people are looking. Time to play Frogger again. All right. Not really worried about getting caught now, so let them see me. We are headed out. So do me a favor. If you enjoyed watching this little adventure, please hit that like button. Maybe even hit that hype button if you really enjoyed it. If you want to see more stuff like this, I really do like doing the campouts. And let me know in the comments below if you like this idea of traveling and going to weird, strange places that you wouldn't think to go. We'll do some more of that stuff. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe. This has been Midwest Angling. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.